Insects. They're the creatures we love to hate, but how much do we really know about them? From misunderstood pests to nature's unsung heroes, today we're going to be busting the biggest myths about insects and revealing the truth about our six-legged friends. Insects are among the most diverse and fascinating creatures on Earth, and yet they're surrounded by myths and misconceptions. In today's video, we're going to take a closer look at these myths, separate fact from fiction, and hopefully give you a newfound respect for these little creatures. In this video, I'll also be swapping out the different insects I'm handling. This here is Acacia, and she's a jungle nymph. This here is Bouncy. He's a giant hooded katydid, and he'll be joining me for myth 1. All insects are pests. It's easy to see why people think this. After all, mosquitoes bite, flies buzz around your food, and cockroaches, well, they're cockroaches. And the truth is, most insects are actually beneficial to humans and the environment. Take bees, for example. These tiny powerhouses are responsible for pollinating about 75% of the world's food crops. Without them, we'd lose a significant portion of our fruits, vegetables, and nuts. Ladybirds, or ladybugs, are another great example. These colourful beetles are natural pest controllers, feasting on aphids and other harmful insects that damage crops and gardens. They're like tiny organic gardeners that work around the clock. And then there are dung beetles. Sure, they have a dirty job, but by breaking down animal waste, they recycle nutrients back into the soil, helping to fertilise plants and keep our ecosystems healthy. So, next time you see an insect, remember, they're not all out to get you. In fact, many are working hard to keep our world in balance. This here is Cacao. She's a giant chocolate millipede, and she'll be joining me for myth 2. All bugs sting and bite. Yes, some insects do sting and bite, like mosquitoes, wasps, and certain ants, but the vast majority of insects are completely harmless to humans. Butterflies, for example, are completely harmless. They don't bite, they don't sting, they're just interested in sipping nectar from flowers and looking beautiful while doing it. Beetles, which make up about 40% of all known insect species, are generally harmless too. While some might pinch if threatened, most are content with going about their business without bothering anyone. Even bees, which are known for their sting, are usually not aggressive. They'll only sting if they feel threatened, and many species, like honeybees, lose their lives after stinging, so they'd prefer to avoid conflict. So, while it's wise to be cautious around insects that do bite or sting, remember that most are completely harmless and pose no threat to you at all. This is a giant atlas moth caterpillar, and he'll be joining me for myth 3. Spiders are insects. This is a common mistake, but spiders actually belong to a different group of animals called arachnids. Here are the differences. Insects have 6 legs, 3 body segments, and usually wings. Spiders, on the other hand, have 8 legs, 2 body segments, and no wings. They also lack antennae, which all insects have. Spiders are incredibly beneficial to humans. They help control pest populations by preying on flies, mosquitoes, and other pests. So while they might look scary, spiders are actually some of nature's best pest controllers. So next time you see a spider, remember, it's not an insect, but it's still a valuable part of our ecosystem. This is Autumn. She's a giant dead leaf mantis, and she'll be joining me for myth 4. Insects are dirty. Many people assume that because insects often hang around near rubbish or decaying matter, they must be filthy, but that's not entirely the case. Insects are actually quite clean. Bees, for instance, spend a significant amount of time grooming themselves to remove pollen and dirt from their bodies. This helps them to stay healthy and efficient at pollinating. Ants are also known for their cleanliness. In fact, they have designated workers whose job it is to clean the colony's nests by removing waste and dead ants. This help prevents disease from spreading within the colony. While it's true that flies can spread bacteria when they land on food or surfaces, they aren't inherently dirty creatures. They're just trying to survive an environment they're drawn to, which is often to be places where bacteria also thrives. So while some insects can carry germs, many of them are often quite clean and even help to keep the environment around them tidy. Joining me for the final myth is Spud, my giant vinegaroon. Insects are pointless. This couldn't be further from the truth. Insects play crucial roles in ecosystems around the world. Without them, life as we know it would be drastically different, and not for the better. Bees and other pollinators are essential for the reproduction of many plants, including those we rely on for food. Decomposers like beetles and flies help break down dead plants and animals, recycling their nutrients back into the soil. Insects also form the base of many food chains. Birds, amphibians, mammals, and even some plants depend on insects for food. Without them, entire ecosystems would collapse. So they're far from being pointless. Insects are actually vital to the health and stability of our planet. They're small but mighty contributors to the world's ecosystems. As we've seen today, insects are fascinating, diverse, and incredibly important to our world. While they might sometimes be strange or even scary, they're an essential part of life on Earth. I hope this video has helped bust some of the myths you may have heard about insects. So next time you see some of these tiny creatures, take a moment to appreciate the role they play in our ecosystems. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment your favourite myth that you've heard before. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.